So we're here to look at the Thrustmaster stick here and the matching throttle here, and why I do not. I like this, but well, let me back up. This is how I have my setup here. So you can see the throttle, and then you can see where the stick is over here. Stream Deck's back there. I typically have my work keyboard here, but I'm trying something different. You'll see in a minute here. So if we get this stuff out of the way, the thing I wanted to show, the problem that I have with the stick's held up fairly well, but the problem is when you twist it. So you have to really give a really heavy dead zone on this thing. Otherwise, your ship starts to go this way. And I have a really bad problem with this thing in particular, and I don't know why. You fly in, you get ready, you take your hand off the stick, and your ship just starts turning to the right in Elite Dangerous. So I don't know. I can't tell if it's this. I put a super aggressive dead zone on it, and it still did it. It's not Elite Dangerous, it's something in the electronics of this thing, and I don't really know why, but this has been an issue. And, I mean, the stick still works. If I was to give this a review, the plastic's nice, and, you know, it's nice thick plastic. This thing moves. That's kind of cheap. The grip is good. The buttons up top here are okay. I mean, I don't really have too many complaints about the whole thing. It's just the drift is what kills it. Decent buttons. I mean, it's got the same kind of buttons on both sides. I've never used this. I used most of these. Basically, you want everything up here when you're playing. You don't want to have to go reaching around trying to find something. Which brings in why you want a throttle like this, because you want to be able to get the extra buttons, you know, all the extra, there's buttons on that side, then there's the hats and the four ways and all that stuff on this side. The downside to this, and I didn't really understand it at first until I started playing with this and then reading people's comments, this slides forward and backward, and it's kind of, you can see the whole thing's moving because you have to really push down, not hard, but you have to push down a little bit more than you'd think to make it move forward, versus a rocker that just slides, rolls, you know, pivots forward and backward. This one, not bad. The buttons, I know they make, I don't know, it's okay. The problem that I have with this is this thing here. This is the second Thrustmaster throttle and flight stick that I've had. And the first one, this worked like once, and then it was broke from that point forward. And I believe it was going in this direction. And guess what's failing on this throttle? That thing right there. This one you can push and it runs fine. This one you push and you have to keep pushing it or hold it down. And if you go into the Windows control panel and watch it while you're pushing on this, you can see, if you just hold it, you'll see it like making contact and then not making contact. Where this one, it's solid. When you push down, it goes over. When you push this one down, it kind of goes over and then back and then over and then back, because it's not making permanent contact when you're pushing in on it. And that's a huge problem with this thing. And that's failed twice. Now, again, I've had this fail twice on, well, I should say twice. I've had two different throttles fail, and I've now got a stick failing for this Thrustmaster T16000. People swear by these things and say how great they are and how awesome the stick is and everything. And they're running dual sticks with this. I just don't see it. I mean, this was $125, something like that, shipped or whatever. And I'm not real pleased with it myself. Now, this is my current replacement, which is the VKB Gladiator. Not the Pro, just the regular Gladiator. This stick is a little different. You'll notice, I don't know if it's coming through very well or not, but the stick is not straight. It's canted that way, and it's made so that it sits, I guess, between your legs as in an airplane. This is like a replica of some kind of plane. stick. So it's actually canted to the side so that you'd sit with this in the middle, which is why I've put this here, shoved my keyboard forward, and put this here. Normally I have the stick on this side and then mousing over here, which I would also point out that if you get a stick like this that's canted on that side, you can now play Star Citizen with your mouse here, stick here, throttle there, and keyboard there. In this configuration here, you got your throttle on this side, your keyboard, your stick, and your mouse, and you've got plenty of room for all of it to go. This, get my finger out of the way here. This particular stick, these buttons are solid. I mean, the buttons on this thing feel cheap. They just really feel, These feel stout. I mean, this base, this is a metal plate underneath, which gives it some weight. This plastic feels heavier than the plastic on the Thrustmaster. The stick feels a little cheaper in the plastic, but I don't know. The stick overall feels really good. If you look at this thing, it's got plenty of buttons. It's got a safety trigger. You can actually flip this up if you want. So you have to actually, let's see here, press into this. So you can't actually press it by just throwing your hand around the corner unless you flip that back down. I don't know. I really like this stick a lot. The VKB has great quality. And this was $100 by itself. So 90 something, 86, 90, something, whatever I paid. Ordered it direct from the, well, not direct from, I ordered it from a vendor, but it's available on Amazon. It was a little more expensive, but I like this stick. Now, I have a Virpil throttle on the way, and I'm looking at getting a Virpil base and grip. The difference with the Virpil is none of this exists. The base is just a base. And then the grip has a bunch of stuff up in here that you use. Oh yeah, there is I forgot to mention there's a button here. Supposedly the button that's down here is used as like a shift button to make this do other stuff. And I've gotten some of it to work in Elite Dangerous, but this button's a modifier that lights one of these two lights. So if it's red and you push this, it goes to green, and that's supposed to change these. So you've got 18 different buttons here, basically, 9 that do one thing, and then you push the button, and then 9 that do something different. And I don't know, none of it's really worked well. This throttle kind of sucks. It's got a very limited movement. So if you're trying to fly in Elite Dangerous and you bump it back a little bit, it like really bumps back. So I didn't care for this. That's why I busted this Thrustmaster back out. Plus I wanted the extra buttons that are on the Thrustmaster, the hats and stuff. Elite Dangerous is really demanding on keys, on buttons, and I don't want to use the control or the keyboard, if at all. Now, Star Citizen I was playing last night, and I've got a video I'm going to post on that. Star Citizen, you're bouncing between the HOTAS, the mouse and keyboard, and various combinations therein. And it gets, I don't want to say cumbersome, but there's so many button combinations that you need. You're flying, and I don't know, you can do the mouse and keyboard and play Call of Duty style if you want. I like the immersive feel of having the throttle, and I like this combination of things because I can do a lot more, and it's a lot more comfortable than just playing with the mouse and keyboard. Plus, you're in the spaceship. When you're sitting here and you've got your hand on a throttle and a flight stick, you're in the ship flying. You're not just, I don't know, playing Call of Duty in space. I like the immersion of it. But anyway, that's where I'm at with this. I'm going to do another one of these when I get the Virpil stuff in. I just ordered that, and it's probably coming from overseas, so it's going to be a few weeks. Anyway, that's it.